Hello, welcome back. I am out at Red Rock, as you can see, on the sandstone cliffs today. And today, we're going to do a little tire test. I'm going to start off with a traction test, basically straight up a wall over here. And we'll find out how the Hyrax do with just flat out traction. And then after that, I'm going to put the new Three Brothers Stickies tires on and compare them. And I'm going to do all lines that you've seen this truck do already with the Hyrax, and we'll see if they're any better, any worse, or basically I just want to see if it can do all the same lines it can do with the Hyrax and if it's any easier. For this first test, I'm just going to drive it until it can't go up any higher with the Hyrax. These are a bit stiffer than the foams that I'm going to be putting on with the anti-foams, and what we're going to do is just measure how far up it can basically straight crawl before it loses traction. This truck shouldn't tip over, I don't think. It's got a pretty good CG. I'm pretty sure I can put the tires on the line. I'm going to be ready to catch this if I need to. This is about where it's going. You can see the bumper just touching the line there in the rock, and that is where it is traction limited. If it had more traction, it would continue to climb steeper, and if it had unlimited traction, it would eventually tip over because it reaches a tipping point. This rock goes pretty vertical at the end here, but as you can see, it's pretty much right on the line. That's about as far as these tires have grip for. So that's about it. And I'm going to try to use the same exact pathway. And for the rest of the test today, I'm going to use the other tires because we've seen the lines already, like I spoke about before. It's more a test of the tire's characteristics. This is the only traction test specifically that's going to happen today. So let me pull these tires off, I'll throw the other ones on. Alright, off camera, I have done a quick change and put the Three Brothers tires on, the stickies. So, let's find out how sticky they are. Also, in a previous video, you saw that I had measured the squish, and these inserts allow for 5 millimeters more of squish than the Prolines do with Proline 2-stage. And right now, the preliminary observations are not great. Same truck, same place. Can't get it to go up where the other one did. Uh-oh. Okay, now it's made it to that part. Let's find out if it can pull to the line the same way the Hyrax did. And just from my line of sight, it's about 2 inches lower than the Hyrax went. It's close. I'm going to call them pretty even. That's pretty even. I still think the Hyrax have the edge. These kind of hop and give a little bit. In fairness though, they are brand new tires. They haven't quite been broken in yet. This is their first run on the sandstone. Another thing I'm going to do while I'm out here is pick up some trash that other people have left. Respect your crawling areas. This climb line here, you've seen it before with this truck. It's kind of steep, but not bad. Temperature is 65 degrees. Let's see if it can straight crawl before I gas it. The Hyrax can't straight crawl this either without a bump. With a bump, they can. A little more hop than I get with the Hyrax. Now this is probably where it's going to cost it. As it gets higher here, I'm losing half a centimeter of ground clearance at the back tires when it is at a steep angle. So I'm hoping it can just pull through without framing out. It's framing out, but it made it. I'm going to call that a win. In this next area, we're going to be testing the truck's ability to side hill over this right here. And with the Hyrax tires, it can do it in both directions. So let's see what it can do today on the 3-guy stickies. I don't think it'll be a problem going in this direction. But we'll find out. Anti-foams seem to be holding up well. I haven't seen any front tire slippage at all. You get a little bit of that with the Hyrax that roll over a bit. I'd probably have to pull a video to show you that, because I'm not going to bother changing the tires out right now. I'll go back in time to another point where I had done that if you really want to see it. But now it's time to run it in the other direction. I don't quite have the line on it like I would have it if I fully came from the other direction. Let me back it up. We'll give it the most fair chance possible. All right. Normally, it takes 3 wheels over the top and hangs this left rear, and then it gathers it back up as it goes across. But the back end's sliding pretty bad. Also, these tires are weighted exactly the same as the ones that have the Hyrax. I put them on the scale, and I say exact, they're actually within 6 grams on the front axle, and that actually took the left rear over the hump right here cleaner than the Hyrax did. So I'm gonna say that was clearly this tire choice's line. It absolutely dominated in that right there. Okay, we're gonna go back the other direction just to drive up to a point where the next line is. I got to be careful because I'm on a cliff and there's multiple steps. If you mess up, it's gonna hurt. Also, I don't want to lose my truck. This climb right here is kind of steep for it, but the Hyrax can do it. You've seen it on videos before. I just want to get myself in a position where if it tips, I don't lose it off the edge here. So bear with me if the video isn't quite as perfect as I want it to be. Doing a nice job just clawing its way up. Kind of on a balance point here. It's right where it wants to come down. The back tires are real light. I might be off the line just a little bit. Let me get it straightened out. I normally would drive this, but I'm the only one here and I don't have anybody to catch my truck. So that's why I'm doing it this way. I think this really steep area is not benefiting from the extra squish of the rear foams. It's causing the back of the truck to squat a little more, which effectively increases the climb angle that the truck has to drive up. I think we just beat it though. That's another win. I'm going to call this one even. even though the Hyrax may have an edge there just because they're a little bit stiffer, and that's a function of the foams I have in it, not even the tire itself. I was always a foam guy, Proline or Crawler Innovations. These are my first set of 3D printed foams, and I think on side hill they might have an advantage. They don't tend to roll over as easy as the others do. They can be softer and still have the same sidewall, you know, the same, what am I trying to say, side hill ability. You can see my tire there is pushing against the body. I need to still trim that a little bit. A lot of deformation going on, but it's doing well. This is the spot right here where it just needs a little bit of clearance. I'll do that with a Dremel tool so that I can make it nice. So pretty much the Hyrax and the Three Brothers get you to the same place over here. Now keep in mind this is very high grip sandstone, and you know, anything will grip on it essentially if it's a decent compound. And just a side note, that area where the rocks are sitting are still in the water. Normally the lake has been lower, so you're on, you know, you can walk around on sand on either side of those rocks. So it's still a little high, but it's not like it was. Right now we're going to go over to the crack area, and we're going to say yes to crack. All right, we're on the eastern side now in the mini Moab region. Right there is the crack area, and then we'll go right over here on this here, and we'll do some wall climbs. I don't even know if it's worth going over the wall on the other far side of the point. I think the water is probably going to have it submerged. And this is the crack. I'll try to just kind of show you that pathway up through it here. And this is literally the first attempt. Make sure my diffs are locked. In the low gear. This is the test of sidewall rigidity here. How well is it going to handle side loading the tires within the V? You gotta get that back just a little bit straighter with the line. Almost there. Close. It was eating, then it started to shudder, and that shut it down. Just go a little slower. That way it won't shudder. These tires just ate the crack. We got a couple of climbs we can do here at the mini Moab area. I'm going to start with the hardest one first, because why not? It kind of requires a bit of reach. So we'll bump that, get it up there. And what I'm going to have to do is hook my right front tire over this peak right here. Actually, the left front. That's going to require a little bit of alignment. This is a much easier line for long wheelbase vehicles. They just have a little bit better reach. Now keep in mind, with some of the squish out of this, or with more squish, it's not going to be able to reach as much because those back tires are gonna flatten out. So I'm losing half a centimeter of height on this one. And it might really need it. What I have to do is line this up, take it over, get the tire to hook on the top, which it looks like it's doing. There we go. It's pulling. The problem is it's not pulling quite the way I want it to. I need the back end to come around, so I'm going to unlock the diff a little bit. Hopefully that rear will slide a little bit more than the front. It's happening. Back to locked. That extra squish at this angle is not letting the tires slide like they need to. I need the back end to rotate around, and it's staying hooked. I'm at the balance point. So I would say, believe it or not, there are times when a little bit less grip is actually beneficial. We're kind of in one of those zones. Got to milk that back end around a little bit. Probably looks like a slow motion whatever, and it is. But I'm trying not to tip it over backwards. As soon as I see that start to unload, I get off of it and come back at it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. No, that one no. It's a little more difficult. And ironically, it's more difficult on that line due to the higher amount of grip. Like I said, these tires don't slide sideways as much as the Hyrax do. I'm assuming that is probably due to the foams, but I don't know. I'm changing foams and tread compound and lug pattern, so a lot of things are different just by switching tires here. That line is easy. I knew I could do that one. I'm going to try this up and over this way one more time off camera just to see if I can do it. I'll tell you if I do, I'll tell you if I don't. I might as well film it. If I'm doing it, I might as well do it, right? The goal of this one is not great cinematography, it's just evidence. So, man, it's still climbing on the rear, where normally the back end's coming around. Maybe it was driver error. I wasn't up high enough. Now it's doing it. I just have to make sure that I keep the front end where it is and bring the back end around. I don't know if I can do that. It's got a lot more squish on that rear axle than previous trucks. Also keep in mind I haven't been out here for months. Most of the summer I've been crawling in Sioux Falls with the 605 guys. They're awesome. Thank you, Damon and Jay. You're both good guys. And I just haven't had the high grip sandstone experience in a while. It's all that quartzite up there that's very, very smooth, and it's slippery, and if it's wet, it's really slippery. So I'm going to see if I can't make this pull through here. going to let it eat for a minute. I don't call this truck Big Tasty for nothing. Also, I'm on a 2S battery because I left all my 3S batteries up in Sioux Falls by accident. So I don't quite have the same punch that it would have on a 3S. This does lack a straight climb like this. The Hyrax would have just pulled itself right through there. I'm going to cheat a little bit just to see if I can make it come up. The Hyrax would pull through this. It's got a little bit better straight line climb, a little bit less steering grip, left to right. That's a lot of tire deformation. It's hurting me. Before I leave, I might throw the Hyrax back on just to show you that it can do this line. In fact, I'm kind of at the place where if I'm going to do that, I'm going to do it because I'm not heading over the wall. I'm sure it's underwater today. So I'll do one more quick tire change, throw the Hyrax on, and show you how it does it. And these are a much stiffer, like I said, I run stiff, very stiff foams on my trucks. I don't like squishy tires because they give up a lot. And I'd say the Hyrax definitely has a grip, just pulling straight forward. Also, you'd see that there's no tire deformation happening there. Didn't give away anything on the diff or the frame. Went right up that. Alright, I'm going to try to take it over the bump here again, like you just saw me attempt with the other tires. I need to get where I can catch it if it decides to go sailing. Like I said, I'm out here pretty much by myself. I own this lake today. Not a single soul's here. Didn't see anybody in the parking lot. Alright, so I'm going to hook that front tire. Also, stiffer foams aren't pulling the tire this way. They're not deflecting as much as the other ones did. This is where I got to get the frame over around the hump and then start bringing the back around. It does, make sure I can pull that around. I need to bring the back end significantly more to the right. And when that shotgun loads like that, it tells me that my band isn't tight enough on that left front. It's just unloading more than it should. In fairness, they were new this year, and when you run them for a while, they lose some of their stretch. And then what you have to do is come back and retighten them after some of the stretch is gone. That's not working out. I shouldn't be carrying this wheel in the air like that. Not sure how to proceed without tipping it over. It's kind of in a bad place. That back end really needs to come around. Starting to. There it's starting. Need to get it pointed uphill a little bit. Get rid of that lean. There we go. All right, and there's the difference. Just need to. Just lost it again. Put it back where it was, just for the purposes of the challenge. Part of the problem with this is I'm running a much heavier 2-cell battery than my 3 cells. I got short packs for the 3 cells and it's giving away a lot of center of gravity. I had it and let it go. We'll walk it up. So the truck was a little bit more top heavy than usual, but it still did it. At least it got through it. I had to help it one spot just because I had a bad line. The point of the test wasn't to see how well I can drive, it's to see how the tires do. So I'm not going to settle it, which tire is better, which one isn't better. The Prolines have a better climb. The Three Brothers seem to have a little bit better steering authority. The tires don't slip as much when you're trying to steer. And they're pretty even though. I do like the Prolines a bit more. To me they seem, they're a little bit more solid. Like I said, I don't like soft tires. A lot of people do. It's just not my thing. I like stiff foams that don't crinkle. And I just feel like I can make trucks do more with a tire that doesn't have as much squish to it. But I'll let you guys decide. That's just my observation. The next time you see the Three Brothers, stickies, it's going to be up in Sioux Falls, and that will probably be on the 18th or after. So I've got to get back up there. See you in the next video.